Today, I wanted to talk about meant to be. And what do you mean by meant to be? You might be asking. You might be like, oh, what the hell do you mean? I mean, like, soulmates. I mean, like, oh, well, this was meant to happen, so it's okay. I mean, like, just making a meaning out of things that happen to you when there's not a meaning. To me, anyway. Don't get fucking, like, pissy because I have, like, my own idea about how things work. But, like, I believe that in life there are coincidences or things that just happen because they happen, and I don't think that there's a meaning all the time, and I think that it's more about how you deal with it, how you cope with it, than anything. And I think it's more about having a healthy relationship with yourself and being able to look at it as not meant to happen. It's not, you know, something that has to happen, or like the universe like being against you, or whatever you think. And just realize that mistakes happen, things happen, and not to constantly give everything meaning and be like, oh, the world's against me. But to move out of that and move more into relationships, I think that people a lot of times look at a relationship and they're like, I gotta find my soulmate, I gotta find like my missing half, we gotta click immediately, we gotta, things are gonna be great, and sometimes it's not that simple, you know? Like, sometimes it's not as simple as a soulmate. Or all the time, it's not as simple as a soulmate. Because there is no such thing. I think that people need to stop being sold the idea of a soulmate. Stop being sold the idea of a meant to be person. Just so you know, I didn't notice this when I was making the fucking video, but I spit in my chair the entire video. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna live your whole life looking for your soulmate, live your whole life looking for your meant to be person. And you're gonna miss out, and you're gonna look back and you're like, dang, I love that person, And I haven't found any like them since because I was like, oh, well, screw this relationship, I want my soulmate. No, no, there's no meant to be. And that's just a childish idea, and there are people that you meet, and there are people that you love, and there's people that you learn from, and once you stop looking at it as a meant to be thing, once you stop looking at it as like we were meant to be and we were soulmates, then life stops becoming as upsetting for one, and life stops becoming as like deep and serious, and maybe you need to take life a lot less seriously. I'm guilty of it myself. I'm guilty of being like, the thing that I'm talking about. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is meant to happen, like you get so caught up in that, and you're like, oh gosh, dang it, it ends, and then you're like, oh wow, well that's awful, now I'm depressed for the next month. Anyway, I think that once you stop, saying that, your relationship will be a lot more successful too, because there is not that much meaning to a relationship. It's more of a partnership. It's more of looking at somebody and being like, hey, I want to do this with you. I want to figure out life with you. And we're going to work out our differences. Because there's going to be differences. Because you guys are going to be raised in different households. And who knows the traumas that they've been through? Who knows the traumas you've been through? It's just more about figuring out if you have that connection. There is no soulmate, though. There is no meant to be, though. Um, and if you feel the way about your partner where you're like, it's meant to be, that's good. That's good to feel that way. You're supposed to feel that way. I'm not like shaming anybody, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, I think that some people are so caught up on that idea that they'll be in a successful relationship, they'll be in a great relationship, but they feel like the person doesn't understand them enough, or complications happen. They're willing to give up a 5-year relationship or however long relationship because, well, they're not my soulmate because they upset me. But sometimes it's more about teaching somebody to become your soulmate. It's more about teaching somebody to be your partner than it is about them just immediately understanding you and immediately knowing these things and immediately. Because if you live your life like that, you're never going to find anybody. You're never going to be fulfilled by somebody because you're going to constantly believe that there's somebody else, somebody better. And maybe there is. Maybe there's somebody out there that understands you better, but it's more about looking at somebody and deciding, hey, there's going to be better people, or hey, there's going to be better looking people, or hey, there's going to be people that understand you better even. But you are the one that I want to be with because I've made a commitment to you. You know what I mean? And I made a relationship with you, and I want to stay in that. And people obviously like meet other people, and sometimes they, it leads to like affairs and things like that. And they're like, oh well, this person understands me better than my husband. This person understands me better than my boyfriend, my wife, my girlfriend, whatever. And they just go off with it. But it's just it's a whole ridiculous idea where they believe, oh, they're my soulmate. But I don't believe in that. I don't think anybody should, because it's just going to lead to a lot of failures in your relationship, a lot of things in your life, and I think we should now kind of evolve into meant to be, or meant to happen. Um, Meant to happen sucks, like, because there's going to be a lot of mistakes in life, and you're going to reflect on it, and you're like, this was meant to happen. Why did this happen? It was meant to happen, but why? Why? You gotta give meaning to that. You gotta find a meaning for why life or the universe is trying to play this trick on you, why life and the universe is turned against you, why? You know? But there's just not a meaning sometimes. There's just not a reason for why this happened to you. There's not a reason for why these things happen to you. Sometimes you gotta kind of grow and just be able to look back and be like, I'm glad that happened to me because I learned this. And, more taking it as a positive, more not focusing on the meaning of why something happened as much as trying to take something away from it, trying to move on with it, you know? And just understanding better about why it happened. Is it possible? You're never gonna like find a reason why sometimes, other than within yourself. You're gonna be able to look back and be like, well, it happened because I was like this. It happened because I did this. If you stop looking for the answers outside of you and look for the answers more inside of you, you're gonna find it so much easier that way. Because you're gonna be asking the universe for reasons why it happened, asking God, asking whatever for reasons why it happened, and you're never gonna find any sometimes, because sometimes there's no reason for it, and sometimes it's meaningless. Um, and I think once you stop trying to give meaning to everything, once you stop taking life as seriously, and once you stop believing in soulmates, and once you'll just be happier. You'll just be, because life is not as complex as that. Life is not as serious as that. Life is not as scary as meant to be. Life is not as scary as you know I mean, what like meant to be relationships and everything like that. It's a lot simpler. I think once you stop taking life so seriously, and once you stop believing that you have a soulmate, you'll start appreciating your partner more. You know what I mean? Because you'll stop looking for that like specific thing that you want. You'll stop looking, and you'll be more realistic with your expectations, and you'll realize, well, maybe this person doesn't fulfill all my needs, but they fulfill these needs. You know what I mean? You're never gonna find somebody that fulfills everything to you. You're gonna believe that you are, but you won't. You're gonna have to teach somebody how. You're gonna have to learn how to do that. You're gonna have to learn how to be mature enough to teach somebody, and to not look at it as a negative thing, and not look at it as they don't understand me right off the bat. They're not my soulmate. I'm gonna give up every time like some little thing happens. But that's the problem with relationships now. Is people believe that they're that simple and they're that easy, and once they're not easy, they give up. But relationships are a hard thing, and they always will be. No matter what. I think it's more about finding the person that matches you. Um, yeah, I think I kind of talked about a lot of the things I wanted to talk about, delved into it. I hope somebody finds some meaning for this, and I hope it finds somebody when they need it. I hope that everybody that watched this thing fully, almost 10 minutes now, enjoyed it. Because I enjoyed making it. I'm just kind of sitting in my chair here, jerking off, talking about whatever, talking about life. Hope you guys liked it. All right. Yep. See ya.